What are the steps in buying a home? G'day guys and girls, it's Matty Whiting and Glenn Hayden here from Team Hayden and Whiting, and we wanted to make a short, snappy video with 13 steps directly from the New South Wales Buyer's Guide that you can get on their website, just to actually help you in knowing what to do and the steps you have to go through from a high level to actually purchase that home. So we're going to read directly from here, guys. Now the first thing, step one, is you actually got to look for a property. You got to have a look around and start looking at what type of property you can actually and want to purchase. Step two, checking the contract of sale. These have to be on display or available, I should say, by the agent that's selling the home. So get a copy of that contract of sale and either read through it yourself, but my suggestion is flick that to your conveyancer or solicitor, because they'll be able to have a look through it and have a look at all the inclusions, exclusions, special conditions, things like that, to make sure that you're purchasing something with no sort of, lemons in there or issues that you don't actually know about. Glenn, what's step three?
Expressing interest in a property. So this is probably what all buyers get to the stage of thinking. This is probably the daunting process of, well, how do I make an offer? Is the offer I'm going to make in the ballpark of what the owner's going to consider? But you have to start the conversation. So asking the agent that you're seeing the property with, has there been offers made? Has there been written offers made? Have those offers been accepted or rejected? The step four is then obviously going to the bank and then applying for your loan. So once you now know that the interest in the property is at X, Y, or Z, you can then put your application forward to the bank and apply for the lending of that money that you want to buy that home at.
And you should have and that's for that specific home. So your offer's been accepted, and then you have to obviously apply for that specific home. You should already have your pre-approval in place, I believe, before even going looking at places.
Correct.
Once obviously you've got that in place, because you can get really excited really quickly about a place, and if you don't have your pre-approval, someone might beat you to the punch. So get that sorted straight away. Step five is arranging inspections. Look, I guess the new norm that's been for years and years is open homes are the easiest way probably to see homes on a Saturday. Now, if you work Saturday or for religious reasons don't do things on Saturday, you can absolutely do private inspections. So it's just a matter of calling the agent on the advertised property if you can't make that open home time, and actually just organising that private inspection. Next one after inspections is deciding on the type of ownership. So are you an occupier or are you a landlord? So you just got to work out what type of obviously owner you're going to be, and the relevant, I guess, benefits that might come with being, for example, a first homeowner. Glenn?
Exchanging contracts. So the way that is normal to be done, and most buyers are familiar with, is that once they have a verbal offer that is acceptable to that potential owner they're buying from, they will sign a contract and generally have a 5 to 10 day cooling off period, depending on how long it's going to take banks to get loans approval done. So generally 5 to 10 days, where you'll get your building and pest inspections done, where the bank will value the property. And then at the end of that, once all those criteria is met and then you're happy to proceed, is when you pay the balance of the deposit, where you're handing over a check for generally at a 5 to 10% of your own money, and that confirms the sale is secured.
Obviously, in purchasing, the next step is paying stamp duty. So majority of the time, unless you're a first home buyer, you are going to have to pay stamp duty. Okay, so make sure that you're actually calculating that in your sums. You need to actually, just jump on. If you Google New South Wales, if you're in New South Wales, if you're in different states or territories, just do it obviously for your state or territory, but just type in New South Wales stamp duty calculator. That'll bring you the first couple of, results on there. You can click into any one of those and you can just type in a few answers: first home buyer, overseas resident, purchase price, blah, blah, blah. And that'll tell you exactly how much you're up for stamp duty. duty. You don't want to leave yourself high and dry, and have already paid a deposit of 10% and then realize, oh dear, now I have to come up with 25 grand and I don't know where I'm going to get that from. So make sure you actually work out how much stamp duty you've got to pay. Then obviously, after exchanging of those contracts, it's all those little things that you actually have to, organize. Things like insurance, things like moving day, as you actually approach that settlement day, getting obviously bills in your name. They're all change of addresses. They're all the little things that you have to think about. Okay, so last 2 steps, Glenn.
Making a final check of the property. So usually a couple of days before the settlement day is going to happen, make sure you go back through your agent and spend a good amount of time walking through the property, making sure it's still in the same condition as when you bought the property. Are the keys readily available? Are all the keys readily available? Do certain remotes for garages work? Does the oven turn on? So make sure you spend a lot of time going through ticking off exactly that everything is in working order, because once that day of settlement happens and the property's handed over to you, you can't go back and ask, oh, well, that I found out that's no longer working. Can you ask the owner to pay for that? Once the property is settled, then it's then yours and you're responsible for those. The day of settlement. So again, that's the happy day. That's the big high five and hugs and kisses day, where you'll get to pick up those keys and spend the rest of your time in your new home.
Beautiful. Guys, there we go. 13 steps about buying a property and a quick high-level view of the steps you need to actually step through to make your welcome home moment a reality.